Listen, however they rate me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we got to fight, and I'm going to win the fight. As simple as that. Because I want him at his best. I don't want no excuses. I don't want no, reasons why, he didn't feel good or anything. I want him at his best.
See, when you're in top shape, you give a straight 400, 500 straight punches, you don't even got a trip.
I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what you say about me. You're not in the position that I'm in to even be on the same level of me.
To pick utterly hypothetical fights that are never going to take place except somewhere in your mind.
Of the money issue, that was their cash cow, and
Hey, but hell, you could have been their cash cow.
Listen, they don't think like that.
Floyd Mayweather's an all-time great. Terence Crawford, I think, will turn out to be an all-time great.
Yeah, every time it's a fighter from the past, from the present, or a fighter that's going to be in the future, they're going to keep comparing them to Floyd Mayweather.
To pass the torch. Nobody passed the torch to Terence Crawford.
He took it.
Right.
Terence Crawford, standing at the very peak of his career, has silenced all rumors and speculation. In front of a live audience, he left no room for doubt. His message was bold, direct, and impossible to ignore. He's not just talking about being the best, he's demanding it be recognized. But that leads to the inevitable question: what does it actually take to topple Floyd Mayweather? How do you solve a puzzle no one else has cracked?
How do you beat Floyd, though? Who's beating me?
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. I'm not worried about all that, my man. Floyd is undefeated. Nobody can beat me. You already know that, man.
Is Floyd better than you? You were there talking to. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis.
You knew I was gonna pull up.
Okay, that's a no. That's a no. Floyd's not better than you.
This isn't some casual call-out, it's a vow. Crawford isn't speaking from hype, he's speaking from a resume built on dismantling one champion after another. Every fight has been proof that he's prepared for something bigger, something that would cement his place in history. He isn't chasing the kind of exhibition bouts Floyd Mayweather has turned into pay-per-view spectacles. He's demanding a true super fight, one that carries real weight. In Crawford's mind, the debate is no longer up for discussion. To him, the verdict is already in, he's ready, and the only thing left is for Mayweather to step into the ring.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? That's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, nah. They pay you a lot of money probably for taking a risk. And some older fighters want to test themselves and see if they still got it. And it's a business. Everybody know what we doing it for. Right. We like pit bulls. You see a pit bull, they got their ring, they got their judge, and they got the crowd around them. They send them out there to kill each other. That's the same way with us.
At this stage, it's no longer about fame or money, it's about respect at the highest level. For Crawford, the fight isn't just another notch on his record, it's the defining moment where he proves he belongs at the very top of boxing's history books. He's prepared to seize that crown, not by waiting for it to be handed over, but by taking it outright, by force if necessary. Every word, every move, signals that he's ready to close the gap between legend and challenger, turning ambition into undeniable reality.
When you look at my career, I paved my own way. I didn't piggyback off of any fighter. I fought my way up to the top. When you look at, any fighter, from Floyd Mayweather to any of them, when Floyd fought De La Hoya, that was a whole big thing. Floyd was the B-side, and, he beat De La Hoya, and then he started rising to the top.
Terence Crawford's recent domination of Canelo Alvarez wasn't simply another victory, it was a statement etched in real time. He entered the bout carrying the label of challenger, yet he left as the undeniable ruler of yet another weight class. What unfolded in the ring was more than a fight, it was a masterclass. Every jab, every counter, was delivered with precision that bordered on surgical. It was both artistry and demolition, a calculated dismantling that left fans stunned and experts struggling to find words. Crawford didn't just win, he elevated himself into a different category, proving once again that no division is safe from his reach.
Yeah, we're working. On a holiday where I blow a lot of getting in. Let's get it. One of the greats, do what we gotta do.
Did you watch the Terence Crawford Canelo Alvarez fight?
Yeah, I did.
Woo, talk about slick. Oh my goodness. Who's ever done that? Who's ever jumped up 2 weight classes like that? It's crazy.
Scary.
He's so clever, and it got to the point where he got so comfortable, he's like pit-patting him, and then like, what? And you're watching, like, this is amazing.
Like, that's history, obviously. You shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to fight at that weight for the first time ever.
Against one of the greatest
Undisputed greatest of all time. And do what you did. You're beyond an outlier. You're an anomaly.
Yet the most shocking moment of the night had nothing to do with what happened inside the ropes. It came later, under the bright lights of the post-fight press conference. Canelo Alvarez, battered and humbled, sat before reporters with the world watching. Then it happened, one sentence that cut through the silence like a verdict being read. The room froze. In that instant, Canelo did the unthinkable. He dared to question the fighter so often treated as untouchable. It wasn't just a comment, it was a challenge to the myth itself, and it sent shockwaves far beyond the press room.
Because I think Floyd at his best was a better defensive fighter than Crawford. Crawford's a better offensive fighter, but in those kind of matchups, I think defense usually beats the offense.
At one particular time, I did talk about, I did say Terence Crawford.
Okay.
Now, but what are we rating these fighters on? What are we rating these fighters on?
Floyd Mayweather's eyeball test.
That works for
You're
me.
eyeballing these guys. You watch Terence Crawford. You know why he has his problem getting the other welterweights in the ring with him.
Almost instantly, the debate ignited like wildfire. Fans, analysts, and even fellow fighters jumped into the fray, each armed with their own verdict. Social media transformed into a digital courtroom, with timelines and comment threads serving as the battleground. Arguments raged over one question: could Crawford's relentless, switch-hitting style, his ability to adapt and overwhelm, truly surpass Mayweather's legendary defensive genius? It wasn't just about comparing records anymore, it was about philosophy, about which approach to boxing represents the pinnacle of the sport. And as the voices grew louder, the divide only deepened.
Floyd Mayweather never disabused himself of the understanding that he was a more of a backup counterpuncher than a go-forward counterpuncher, regardless of what he did to Diego Corrales. And that's a different kind of approach and effect than what Crawford achieved the other night. So that...
Naturally, Crawford's bold declaration couldn't be contained. It spread across headlines, highlight reels, and social feeds until it reached the one man whose name has become shorthand for perfection itself, Floyd Mayweather. But when the response finally came, it wasn't fiery or defensive. It was measured, almost unsettlingly calm, as though Mayweather had been here before and knew exactly how to play the waiting game. That composure raised even more questions. Was it confidence, strategy, or the first sign that the challenge had truly struck a nerve?
Let's put on the show. One thing about me, I've heard it all. When I say heard it all, I mean, been around the world, competed against the best. When you talk about the Olympics, I competed against the best. Whether it was the world champion in the Olympics, whether it was the Cubans, I competed against the best. No matter Mexico, the pedigree of the Mexico boxing is truly unbelievable, but I competed against the best. My Uncle Roger Mayweather, you talk about Julio Cesar Chavez, he's an unbelievable fighter. My Uncle Roger fought him twice. He came up short, but he fought him twice. And it's always about competing and going up against the best. So Saturday, it is what it is. I'm Floyd Mayweather. I've already faced the best.
When Floyd Mayweather was pressed for his thoughts on Crawford's dismantling of Canelo, his response was as smooth as it was dismissive. With a shrug and a faint smile, he called it good for boxing, described it as exciting, and added that the best man won. On the surface, it sounded like praise, but underneath, it was classic Mayweather deflection. Reporters pushed harder, asking if Canelo, now 35, was simply past his prime. Mayweather brushed it off with a casual, "Oh, I don't know. Boxing puts a lot of wear and tear on the body." In that moment, he wasn't answering, he was sidestepping, shaping the narrative so that he remained untouchable, above the fray, the judge rather than the accused.
Here's why I say that. Bud is extremely skilled, right? Yet not as skilled as Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather made people look foolish, right? And so if I had to say who's the greatest I've seen, and Bud said it right, the best of an era and the best of an era, it's Floyd. But when I watched Bud against Canelo, there was this extreme skill on display, and there was a level of crazy that's different. There was a level of, and Floyd's extremely tough. Go back to Shane Mosley and the 2 punches he landed early in the fight and the way that he embarrassed him. I'm not saying that Floyd's not tough, Floyd's not a bad man, but there was domination inside that ring we saw this weekend. But no one gave him credit because he didn't go tell you he was the baddest man. He didn't market that. He just went out and fought and beat people and knocked people out. So he had to move up and take the bigger fights and the better fights. And he was Errol Spence. We realized just how great he was. Canelo cemented him on what is the two-headed monster that marks the greatest of the 2000s. Floyd Mayweather is on that, and Bud Crawford is right next to him. I don't think we have to pick on who's better. I think they both dominated their era.
Even in retirement since 2017, Floyd Mayweather's shadow still looms large over the sport. He's a phantom presence, never fully gone, always hovering over every debate, every comparison, every would-be successor. Ask the question, who are the top 5 boxers of all time, and his name is guaranteed to surface. Not just as a candidate, but often as the standard against which all others are measured. That's the power of his legacy, unseen in the ring, yet constantly present in the conversation, like an unshakable reminder that perfection once walked between the ropes.
Who do you think are the top 5 boxers?
Of all time. There's no disrespect to Floyd. I love Floyd.
No, I feel like...
But how am I gonna put down a person as the greatest person in the world that I competed against and felt that the world felt that if anything, it could have been a loss. I mean, he knew going toe to toe with me early that was career suicide. He like, I'm not going toe to toe with this. Floyd's not on my list.
Okay, so had you not fought Floyd,
I'm pretty sure I'm not on his list either. I'm pretty sure, right? But I'm just saying, like, as I'm a kid from boxing, I came in the same era with Floyd, so he wouldn't be my idol. The people that I name are legends. These are people that I idolize, that paved the way for myself. Mike Tyson's career was phenomenal. Pernell Whitaker's career was phenomenal. Marvin Hagler's career was phenomenal. Sugar Ray Robinson's career is, come on, man. Like, yeah, Floyd is great. He's just not one of my top 5 favorites.
Mayweather's name refuses to fade from the spotlight. One week it's tied to a blockbuster exhibition against a fellow legend like Mike Tyson, the next it's linked to a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, and soon after, it's a public appearance that fuels endless speculation. Every move keeps him in the headlines, every headline keeps him in control of the narrative. That's the genius of Floyd Mayweather. Long after his last professional fight, he's still the center of attention. He lingers like a ghost, but one that casts the longest, darkest shadow across the boxing world, reminding everyone that relevance itself can be a weapon.
Floyd Mayweather. You got Sugar Ray Leonard. You got, every time it's a fighter from the past, from the present, or a fighter that's going to be in the future, they're going to keep comparing them to Floyd Mayweather. People have to answer this question. If they keep comparing all these fighters from back in the day all the way to now, they keep comparing these fighters to me, that has to say something about me. I don't have to come on record and say I'm TVE. I don't have to come on record and say I did this, I did that. When it was my time, I did what I had to do. It's gonna be fighters that's gonna continue to fight. It's gonna be fighters that they're gonna continue to compare to me.